Peace world. How you doing? It's your brother Mikey Fever. Welcome to another episode of NYP Talk Show, the most coolest podcast channel within this conscious space. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. We got super chats. Peace to our viewers, peace to our listeners, peace to the world. Shout out to my brother Ron Brown. Without further ado, we got our brother, a legend on the show, very insightful, educated black man. Let's put it like that. Not only does he walk the walk, but he talks the talk as well. All that, and he's very sharp. Our good brother, Dr. Paul Dyer. Welcome to the builder, Dr. Dyer. Salute, my brother.
Salute, salute. How you doing, Mikey? How you been? You been
I've been
safe out
good,
there?
safe out there, man. I've been keeping to myself as of lately. I've been yeah, man. I took another step within this Masonic journey, man. A different step. It's very beautiful, man. That's
Yep,
what I gotta
yeah.
say.
It is. And I believe all passion journeys are amazing.
Yeah,
You have to develop a passion to have a journey. You just can't have a choice without passion.
yeah,
I'm glad people choose, but then they have to fuel it with passion. And that gets them down the little road. If you want to think of it as a choice is the car, but passion's the fuel.
hmm,
You can't get anywhere without passion. And then
definitely.
and so because that goes along with our topic today too,
Hmm.
about what we're going to talk about war. And but I'm glad you're safe.
Definitely, man. It's beautiful, man. It's like, I'm seeing like dealing with our vices and within ourselves, every day's a battle to refine yourself to make yourself a greater person. Not better, but greater. Learn from our faults. Strengths turn to weaknesses. I'm gonna keep saying that. That's one thing I keep saying. And being the best version that you want to be. So therefore, when you make that change within yourself, you also impact the world. And you're losing people along the process too. And I don't mean losing people like this week alone. I got to go to two funerals, but not only in a physical sense of death, but also socially. Friendships
Yeah.
change, dynamics
Yep.
change.
Yep.
So yeah,
There's emotional death. There's physical death. There's emotion. Well, actually, there's death in all three levels, right?
yeah,
So there's spiritual death, there's emotional death, there's physical death, and then
yeah,
there's mental death. So you have all four levels of your life that one you can never stop, and that's the physical death. But
yeah,
the other stuff you can enjoy going back to the word journey with passion. So
yeah.
I just think that's the way to go.
Definitely, my brother. So tonight's topic, man, it's called Combat Explained: Veterans' Insight on Warfare and Battlefield Experience. Dr. Dyer, take us through that.
So as a vet, right? So with experience, I
Hmm.
think people, the Americans. So we're in this war with Iran, right?
Hmm.
And if people are old enough, they can remember the Iraqi war with Iran.
Hmm.
If they can remember the Afghanistan, the horrible pullout, blah blah blah. Right. So
Yeah.
you can remember maybe something to do with war combat. And as a person that I know, me personally,
Hmm.
I'm healing through PTSD myself. Um, we carry a lot. And here's the thing: black soldiers carry more than you think they do into the military.
Hmm.
So they don't just carry, what people think of blacks as an excrement, right? Or
Yeah.
they just don't, whatever. Early on, we're talking early Civil War time, right?
Yeah.
They don't think as blacks as people. So when blacks join the service, they're carrying on a country that doesn't treat them all that well.
Yep.
Right? We know
Hmm.
that's just, we're not talking about disagreements or agreements. It's just a fact. But
Yeah.
we go and we serve. And this happens with all minorities.
Yeah.
You go serve in a country that does not treat you all that well. But you go with the sense of purpose to serve,
Yeah.
right? To serve humanity, serve democracy, serve the safety of what America can be, could be, and has been for people,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? So they carry that long history of, because when I joined, the first things I heard was, why would you go to join to serve the man?
Yeah,
That's how old I am, right?
that's that
That,
stigma. To this day, it still reigns. That
but
idea still reigns.
that was coming. Why would you go serve the man? The man doesn't do blah blah blah. So hearing that from the environment
Mhm,
is a lot of, it makes you think more about what you're serving for. Previously in the 70s, they gave a lot of black people options, 60s and the 70s, early 70s, go to jail or go to the army, right?
mhm. Yeah,
And that was to, depending on the sentence, I'm sure it's not like a murderer. You go, hey, you either go serve in the military, or go
yeah.
serve your sentence. But those were highly suggested. They were highly suggested by the counselors in school. Why don't
Mhm,
you go? And then we're not even talking about as early as the draft. Right,
mm,
so low in the lottery, not being able to get into school, to have a skip on the lottery. So all those things the country has done to us, and yet as black soldiers, we go with a lot of baggage. Now, and then you have your own personal baggage. So you
mhm.
have what you call a country baggage, your emotional baggage. And then if you want to be good, you want to be the best, you want to go into tier groups and really serve at a high level, that's great. But those doors are difficult to get through, and yet you really got to put your passion and purpose out there. You really got to put your guts on the line, saying, "I'm not ever quitting."
Yeah.
Not many people that can get through the doors that I've been through. So, um, but then we go serve, and so wherever they put us, and I've been in many places, from Middle East to Africa to South America to
Yeah.
Germany, right? To Eastern Bloc. Because actually, I was there at Checkpoint Charlie when the wall fell. So, and I remember the things we had to do when the couple days before they were actually going to tear down that wall. There was also missions inside, uh, in the other parts of Germany, and
Mm.
so um, that was it was it was pretty hectic then. But Americans don't know that, right? So anyway, Americans don't know a lot of things what soldiers do over in continent or on ground or in the box,
Yeah.
however you or downrange, however you want to pull it, um, and they don't know the reasons. And those reasons, not knowing the reasons, keeps them blinded as a citizen. We may not know the reasons at the time because it's really about mission. It's
Yeah.
always going to be about mission and then the people around you. For me, it was always people around me and then the mission, because I'm going to make sure that I get home and people get home safe. So, and the mission. So, but then you hear about the reasons we're there, or we
Mhm.
see the things that are going on that's there. And those aren't happy things to be knowledge about. It's almost like when Adam and Eve hit the apple of the tree of knowledge, right? I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I should have known this, but this was this
Exactly.
evil, or this was this bad, or this was this political, or this was, and not just political, meaning it's geopolitical. So we're talking about all the countries. We're just using these people, but if we know your history, if you know your history, there's always going to be in a chessboard pawns, and
Yep.
then
The
everyone
bishops and
else.
everything else.
So pawns get killed, and throughout the history, pawns will get killed, and service member are pawns, depending on where you are on the scale of pawn. You're not the king, and you'll never be the queen. So as close as you could ever get is a bishop, and that's what you call a four-star general. That's the
Mm.
close, but you'll
Allow
never be queen. You never be king.
allow me to interject with this one. You said something that was so great. You're there for a mission, but when you find out on the contrary what the mission's about, you're not too proud. And that's something that I have heard from many soldiers that I came in contact with. those who are veterans, and they say, those that were involved in the Afghan war or the 2003 Iraqi war,
Hmm.
they were saying we thought we were there for something else, but when we found out the truth, what it was about, they were not too proud. They were like, "Oh man, I regret ever going."
Ever.
Yeah,
Regret ever.
because it felt
It,
awkward telling them that. Because I remember I say thanks for your service at the time. I was just being respectful, cordial, civil. Because I see you come back, and as you said, many do have PTSD or missing limbs whatsoever. So I was just it's like encouragement, because I see, we in the setting and I see them there. I'm like, at least give them, congratulate them or something like that. And they said, no, I'm not proud of that, honestly. I was like, wow.
so and it's tough to even be proud being home. And that's where the depression comes in because I'm home, others may not be home.
Yeah.
Others may not be whole physically and home
Mm-hmm.
because none of us are whole mentally and home,
Yeah.
right? So, and then nothing of the reason why I was there as a citizen or civilian. So all my stuff was done out of vain.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you knew. Like if it, we'll take a scenario, right? Your sister comes home, your young sister comes home,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks bruised up. And as a brother, maybe 5 years older, what happened? Well, those boys pushed me, and
Yeah.
then so you go down the block and you like handle your business because don't ever touch my sister again. Don't you
Yeah.
ever put your hands on my sister again. Your
Mm-hmm.
sister says thank you
Mm-hmm.
because she knows what it was about.
Yeah. But you don't
So
know.
right, but you did it for your sister, right? You
Exactly.
you may not know the reason, but you did it for your sister, and your sister knows you did it for her.
Yep.
Civilians don't know why we do it for them.
They don't know. Yeah.
They don't know, and they choose not to care because if they care, they would want to be informed.
Deep. That's
So
powerful.
so so their thank yous often are stabs. They cut. They make me personally sadder.
Mm. So I have a question for you, right?
Yeah,
In hindsight, we can put this in. We want to put this in conceptualize it in context. In hindsight, what's harder, going to war or coming back home from war?
coming back home
Oh,
because it would be easy for me to stay.
oh, you become immune to what's taking place around you.
Yeah, and you're settling in. It's just like bagging groceries at a grocery store. You just handle your business.
You get into that mode. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
Mm.
coming home, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Why
I
is that?
can't.
Is it because you don't know if you get celebrated or
Because
ridiculed?
what could you celebrate? Celebrate something you know that was not healthy at the time, and now they and how they use you to. Here's we're in this situation war
Mm-hmm.
with Iran.
Yeah.
We supported Iraq, who was fighting Iran.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Okay, when Iran in 50s, when we tried to work out an oil deal with them, we assassinated their leader and we put in the Shah,
Mm-hmm.
right? We put in the Shah. Then the Shah was taken over by another group.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have killed their pope, their highest religious leader ever.
Yeah.
It's if someone came over here, Pope doesn't mean much to means a lot to a lot of people,
A lot of
Roman
Catholics. Yes.
Catholics or
Yes.
Catholics or Christians, but he's kind of a symbol. You may not follow the Roman Catholic thing,
Mm-hmm.
but if someone came over here to the world and killed the Pope, we would be kind of pissed off as human beings. Like,
All
how
hell
do
will
you
break
kill our
loose.
Pope?
Yeah, all hell will break loose. But you're
It
right
would just
about that.
break loose.
in the middle of Ramadan, you go out there, you eradicate this guy. Like that's
Right.
disrespect. Yeah, like
And there's so whatever has happened, there's no way around this.
mhm,
We're in a bad situation. We're in a situation that's kind of like checkmate.
mm,
It's little we don't we I would say a hard check. You may have one back and forth move you're going to do for a while, but that's going to end pretty good. If people have known to play chess before, when the king only has two places to move, because you can move it and you're out of check, and then the next move you're in check, next you can do this for a while until they sit and figure out how to checkmate you.
exactly.
This won't last long.
Hmm.
We just spent $900 million on this war so far, and we're going to go to a trillion next year.
Oh man. All right.
So the people, just think of the soldiers that are over there fighting for their lives, but for a play, a chessboard play. But they're
Yeah.
fighting for their lives, right?
Exactly.
But we're really over there for a chessboard play, right?
Hmm.
So coming back home, whether you're alive or whether you're injured, and hope you're not injured. God, man, hope none of these boys come back injured.
Yeah.
But the American people don't know that all this has caused so much. Like, because if people don't know, fertilizer is made out of petroleum.
Yeah.
Did you know
Um,
that?
I know part of it was like, a lot of
Yeah.
resources put into it. Yeah.
So if fertilizers, because fertilizers rising has risen, like the
Yeah.
gas prices.
Right. I heard about the
So
taxation also with it's going like the oil ships going near the coast of Iran, a certain barrier it goes through and gets the
Hormuz.
tax. Hormuz, yes. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, but so fertilizers rising. So fertilizers rises. That means everything grown in the ground should rise,
Yep.
right? Everything grown will have a higher price. Everything fed will have a higher price
Mm.
just from fertilizer. Now we got a tax on diesels made out of petroleum.
Mhm.
Diesel prices have gone up, the fuel has gone up. So everything that's delivered by a truck, that's another price point that goes up.
Yeah. The inflation is only gonna get critical out here with all this taking
It's
place.
going to be critical. So when people see me training martial arts with firearms or knife or whatever, or reading, that's training. That's all part of your training. Um, you have to be prepared for this thing that's coming to us like a wave.
It is. I see that. I see it's written on the wall. The writings on the wall. All right, this war is based on ego. Let's be honest, because the way propaganda is showed is that we that live in this country, and I get it. People want to root for home team. I'm American. I'm patriotic. I'm rooting for my guys. But it's the same thing is happening on the other side as well, because these people
Yes,
are
but
defending
see,
their
but
sovereignty.
but most people don't know that Iran was
Hmm.
Persia.
Yeah. Hmm.
Persia's been doing this for thousands of years. Persians
Yep.
has been defending their land for thousands, way before the Bible was even thought to be written or a word scratched in the sand. Persia's been there defending themselves for thousands of years. So,
Hmm.
what does that teach the historical purpose of a person who's Persian? We can wait this out.
Hmm.
We will last the long run, and we will survive, and we will win.
They're relentless. They're not gonna give in. Yeah.
Well, just think, this is the education for thousands of years, not a couple
Yeah.
of hundred,
Yeah. It's engraved
right?
in you. It's embedded in you, like in your
It's
DNA.
embedded in them. So where do you think they quit?
Never.
Never.
Didn't Iraq and Iran war last like over 20 something years, I believe, between those two?
Right, but that's because they don't. There's no quitting.
Yeah,
One's a
there's no.
Kurds and I mean, if you know the history of the Kurds and the Persians, and
Yeah.
then the Muslims, and So there's a lot of information that people need to go seek out and read, and why this is the way it is. But when it comes to just affecting you and the soldier, we're suffering inside, we're dying inside, and then we come back home and we suffer some more in silence. Yes, most people out there are really reaching out to some veterans about PTSD and going in and getting help. And I hope I hope everyone is really seeking help. I hope
Mhm,
you wash your mind as much as you wash your car. I
mhm.
want people to clean their minds and get talking to someone, because loving someone like me is also very hard, because you have to put in the patience, and it may not be what you want.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and and it's okay, and it's okay for the people like, oh, I thought I could muster it through, and they
Mhm.
can't. And but that, as much as they try, it seems to fall on the ears of, well, I gave my all, I think that's great, but
Mhm.
you're still not ever going to be here.
Yeah, I feel for them. I feel for these for veterans, man. I have experienced it myself too, and it's just that you try your best to understand, especially like I commend you personally because I see that you went out there to do the work. Not only you did the work on yourself, you go out there to teach others on how to cope. So salute to you because you found your way through many facets, you know. But
Hmm.
how about those that don't go out there and seek that help?
What, suicide? You
No,
know
no,
the
no, no,
number the
not
numbers are so high for people that
mm,
don't seek help. It's
mm.
suicide.
Oh
It
wow.
you're going, if it's not suicide, with the numbers so high, you're destroying so many other lives. Like, you're destroying a person who wants to be close to you, whoever that is,
Mhm,
whatever that looks like. If a person wants to be close to you, you will destroy it, unbeknownst of your wants. You may not want to. It will just happen in time if you're not getting help. If you are getting help, it
mhm,
can still probably get, broken or cracked, or people move on, but at least you're keeping your heart open and you're trying. Because if once your heart closes, we're going to go right back to that muscle memory we've had longer as a soldier than as an adult human being.
got you. So I have a question for you, Dyer. Being that earlier you said with different minorities within the military services, right? And shout outs to all the quote unquote minorities in military service. Did you guys feel equally valued on the battlefield?
Yes. Now, when you come down, so that's where the politics and suits or upper management. When it comes to brother, soldier to soldier, there is no religion, there is no there's no color barrier.
Hmm.
They're just it just, man, I'm telling you, if we can, and I think that's also disturbing to us too, that you
Hmm.
brought it. I mean, you kind of brought up. I mean, that we come back here to the States, and the brother I sweat, bled, cried with. I mean, way more than probably any other female that I think I've ever broke down to. And over here in the States, there's these talk against them and they and them, us and
Mm,
we. And that's heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking.
yeah. Wow.
Because right now we know that there's black militia that's forming to be prepared to fight white America.
Yeah.
That is their mission statement, preparing to fight white America. So th- this is also coming.
Mm. It's a lot. The world need the woo side. I believe Dyer. A lot of these things.
I think there's no way to return this train back to the station.
Mhm,
I actually I foresee, besides an economic collapse,
mhm,
that's really going to throw people into a panic. And then if they've been training with their groups of people that they call we, whoever those we are, may not be so positive reacted to them.
Mm.
So things are going to turn a little bit hot in the streets. We're not going to worry about jobs too much because we're going to be, you know, with 46% unemployment rate. So people are just
I
going
heard
to
about
be,
that.
they're just going to be a little bit heavy on the heart, heavy and sad, and emotions going to trigger those reactions, and there's going to be a lot of havoc and death. Just what it is. So as soldiers, as we come back to the states, this hurts us too.
Yeah, it does. Like I have a question. Does it affect you? I know the benefits come straight from the government, but are there any specified ramifications that one must go through in order to get those benefits?
Yeah, you do got to jump through some hoops and some hurdles and filling out paperwork, which
Hmm.
brings up some anxiety. So I suggest get someone to be an advocate for you. The VFWs, the American Legions have VFW people that can be an advocate for you to seek um, your benefits and the things you might need. And then once you get into the VA, I know certain states, unlike the state I live in, it's a long wait to get into the VA, and it's overcrowded and it's a mess and it's so bureaucratical situation, and so you wait months just to get in to see something, or months to talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
But they're trying to help and fix that.
So how did experience on the combat field change your perspective on life?
It's either
And walk us through that.
I think walking you through it, it's people can enjoy life and
Hmm.
cherish life and be very responsible about life. People can grow up in really tremendous, horrible, trauma inflicted neighborhoods and
Yeah.
don't give a shit about life.
Yeah.
And they discard life. On the battlefield, we marry the two. We
Mm.
don't give a shit about death, and we don't give a shit about life because it's right now. If I live, awesome. If I don't die, I know I could have.
Mm.
So that gets jumbled in a lot of emotional um, effects
Yeah.
because we marry life and death together. And life and death, they are together, they're synonymous.
Mm.
You read the Book of the Dead, it's the same thing. You read the Book of Life, it's the same thing.
Same
They
thing.
marry. There are many teachings out there that talks about life and death, and you experience that instantly after you stop shaking from your little fire.
A little fire. So when your first experience, your first time on the battlefield, walk us through it. Walk us through that. The first time you heard of the first shot went off. What went through your body? What emotions did you feel?
What would we taught, and what do we got to do?
Mm. That's it.
That's it.
Just
That's it.
so because I remember you said a year or two ago when we first had you on the platform, the process was the amygdala gets broken through the training, right?
Yes. Yep. It gets broken, gets shattered.
Mm.
Because it's not about what I'm going to feel, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do this. There's no feeling involved there. This is what I've been trained and what I'm going to do. What does mission say? And what's my buddy to the left and buddy to the right? That's
Mm.
it. That is it.
Just react. That's it. Basically, just go.
No, it's respond. It's not just
Not
react.
react, respond. Yeah. Yeah, okay, I got you. I like that. So when once you in the field, once you respond to what's taking place around you, right?
Well, then it's information.
Mm.
And that's where the awareness comes in because everything you take in and the smell, sound, hearing, it's all information. It's
Mm.
all information. What do you hear? What does it sound like? What does the crack sound like? What does the bee sound like? What
Mm.
does the smell sound like? Phosphorus rounds. It's all the information's all out there. You just got to take it in. It's not just weather, temperature, and people.
Mhm.
It's everything. It's the taste in your mouth that oh my God, people people who know this, they know they taste a little bit of silver in their mouth.
Oh,
It's
wow.
crazy, right? It has a little bit of steel, it's like you're sucking on steel or something like that in your mouth. You get that taste in it, and you just become familiar with that taste.
Mm. So what was the most biggest mental challenge on the battlefield after you go through all those sensations and everything else? Like,
You really kind of put it back in the train. You go back into the training hole and perfect the training a little bit better, what you studied on, what you're not fast on, and so you really try to you mix all those emotions into movement and
mm,
training. So that's why it gets so wrapped up like a twine, because everything we do is emotional. Every emotional is in the physical. Every physical
mm.
is a mental thought. So you can go to the OODA loop. People has had that happen, but if you're thinking a lot, you still got to process all that information.
It seems like the military incorporates a lot of training facets
It,
vicariously into it, like hidden. They don't
right,
explain it, but you.
right, because it sinks into your mind faster.
Mm,
It sinks into your mind fast. Stop. Don't beat the slave. Just keep the slave working. It'll learn that it has to just work. Because if you just keep beating, you're just going to keep getting rebelled. You see what I
you,
mean?
yeah,
You just keep them working.
I see that you become like a machine after that. Like you
Right?
just.
Yeah. You become the machine.
Oh man. So how does a soldier cope with the loss of a comrade on the field? Like I know there's no time for mourning or nothing. It's just keep going. That's it. Like
The answer is the same, Mikey, and that's what makes it so horrible. You go back into mission and purpose, and that's going to keep you alive because you dwell on something, then your mind's not in the game, right? Your head's not in the game, and if your head's
mm,
not in the game, you're going to end up costing yourself a life, and maybe the person next to you, in front of you, behind you, or to the left of you. You end up costing their life, and you don't want to do that. That's the one thing you don't want to do. You don't want to be like, oh shit, I miss. It's not like basketball when the people miss my pass, right, and they fumble it and it goes out of bounds. You're like, damn, man, you missed my dime.
yeah.
If in combat, you miss a move, that's dangerous. That's death. Or it creates a chaos that has to be now be controlled,
Mm,
right? So, um, yeah, so all that gets really built into the fabric of being a soldier. That's why coming back is so hard.
yeah.
I, I mean, I know this is a heavy topic, and I would like to pick this up on a part two.
That
But
definitely.
but I want people to think about us soldiers as human beings, but a being that you've never encountered before.
Mm,
How about care about where they went?
exactly.
How about care about why we went there and why the American people allowed it to go?
Beautifully said. That's perfect. You know I question those things too, Dyer, because some people be I think it's done in layers. As you said,
Yes.
to beat the
Yes.
slave, keep you going. All
Yeah.
right. You send out, as you said, so it's a chess game. And now I'm seeing a picture. You send out the soldiers, those are the pawns. You got the people, the public. I don't know which position should we put them. Like, I don't want to say bishops or whatsoever, but they pawns as well. But there's different tiers of pawns. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They the spectator. It's like bread and circuses. Let's put it. It's chess and bread and circuses, like the Coliseum games. Yeah, we see in blood. We entertain by the blood, the sound of blood, right? So they keep the blood going. Your mind, you're brainwashed to believe like, if I don't root for this, I'm not patriotic.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
So they got you there.
Yeah. So you must go for it. And you got those that do oppose it, that don't want to see the war, and they viewed as weak, anti-American. I mean,
No,
this guy.
just know the science of war.
Yeah.
Study war. You don't have to you don't have to go back and study much history as I study, but if
Yeah.
you want to go back to how about to just 1953
Mm-hmm.
when we put the Shah and when Kissinger welcomed the Shah into the United States
Mm.
because the Ayatollah had taken over.
Henry Kissinger, for those listening and viewing. Go ahead.
You know, so
Yeah.
when the Ayatollah took over, which is their religious faction, they're part of the religious faction, and
Mhm.
and the Shah was hiding out in the United States. We gave billions to him to be our guy.
Yep.
And so when Ayatollah took over, people were just like coming from Iran, coming to here, going, I don't want to be with the Ayatollah, right? He was just kind of mean. They even said the Shah was mean. You know, people left because, but then so the Ayatollah is a family.
Mhm.
So they just keep, it's a direct monarch, really, because that's all they have is Ayatollahs that come from their family line, right?
Okay, I got it. I got it.
So, so we're stuck. I'm telling you, we're the king that has two moves
Yeah,
back
we're
and
not.
forth.
And I want to know, why do they deem these people as evil? Because before I
Because
seen somewhere,
we make them evil. When we were when we were Saddam Hussein was one of our
I
advisors.
was gonna get to that point. Yeah.
Okay, so you have Noriega was an advisor for us
Yep.
until we hunted him down in Panama. This
Because
this
he
has
want to get
been
us a
going.
cut of the drugs.
Yeah,
Let's keep it real.
this has been going on since Ferdinand, right? When
Exactly.
Ferdinand got shot, you know, this is the playbook.
Mhm.
People, you don't have to go back that far to start recognizing the playbook. You can
Mhm.
recognize the playbook from the Roman Catholics.
Of
It's the
course.
same playbook of who they put as emperor in a section of an area. They tried to take over Persia. They put in their European, you know, person,
Yep.
right? Maybe not as dark skinned, but he had ties to the European area. So they put him in Persia. Well, he gets taken out by his brother. I mean, so his brother says we believe we should be Persian. So he still had the European connection. It's it's this huge game
Mhm.
that we as humans in the geopolitical section, we have been we're thrown in. We have a number, right?
Mhm.
You have an expenditure number. We're the widest gap in history between the one class and the next class. I'm not going to say lower class. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say upper class. But between two classes, we're the most separated now in history.
Of course. The elitists are on top. The guys who pulling the strings behind the curtain.
And they make money both ways. So that's the
Exactly.
other thing. People keep thinking that though these people are trying to make money, those people are trying to make money.
I make money either way.
There's the top 10%, whatever they call it, 1% that makes money winning and losing.
Mhm. I'm gonna say this, and try not to get this channel in trouble, but I'm gonna say it. Even where a situation took place in 1940s or 30s in Germany, there were investors involved in that. Both
Correct.
here, the
Correct.
same people that were persecuted were there were people within their own organization that made
Right.
money off of that. The one group that made
The
money
the
off of that.
la- the reason why we became a superpower was because after World War II, everything everywhere else was kind of not kind of they was demolished. They were,
Mhm.
bombed up, flattened out. The American people is the only people that had a working factories and they built something and they
Yes, they
made
did.
stuff.
Mhm.
So their engineering, so that made them the working capital, which made our dollar strong, which became the thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's look at who's caught up. Japan's caught up, Germany's caught
Yep.
up, right? So after World War II, we're talking about 75 years. So everyone's caught up, and we've been trying to run the same pick and roll scheme if you're a basketball fan, or you're trying to run the same handoff play if you're a football fan, and
Mhm.
it's not working. It's
Mhm.
not going to work. And the only people that's going to get hurt by it are soldiers. And the other people that are going to get hurt by it is people who want to try to learn to love the soldiers. And I wish people try to learn to love them harder. But I know it gets tough, and I know this is not something you plan for, and not something that you may seem to be cut off for because there's health issues, there's mental issues, there's social issues, and things like that. And
Yeah.
it just takes work. So
No, it does take work, and it's difficult. One thing I'm gonna say clear: I never fault the soldiers because you're just carrying out a job that you signed up for to do. You gotta
Hmm.
remember they there to do a mission, and this is what they signed up for. Because as you mentioned, they go there with good intentions to better themselves and help their country out. So I never fault the soldiers. I take their political leaders as accountable for what's taking place because these people just pointing the finger, and say, "Go to war, go to war, go to war." I'm like, why not do like the old generals used to do? Go to war yourself. Get on that field instead
Well,
of
the last generals that stepped out in front and they realized being promoted was also a political appointment was the Civil War.
yeah,
Prior to the Civil War, every leader was they led from the front, right?
yeah,
And then after that, then we had what you call bench warmers.
mhm,
They realized that if a high officer in Vietnam was killed, that was a bad idea. They learned that in Korea. So they started putting high-ranking officers in the rear, and so that's why a lot of lieutenants lost their lives in Vietnam. You don't see too many captains. Um, that lost their lives, or definitely no majors. And if it was probably because a big base got hit or something like that. But they were not out on the battlefield
got
unless
you.
they were special operators. But anyway, I mean, so I mean, they were trying to build a society on leadership, on tough leadership. And so when you build a hierarchy society, that means someone's lower than. It doesn't matter what, like, you can have an assistant manager position. You still have a manager. You
Yeah,
still have a CFO. You still have a CEO.
yep,
You know what I mean?
right here.
So there's a pyramid to all of this,
Mm-hmm.
and and then when we get emotional and detach from the work, the the onworkings of war,
Yep.
when we get detached from the onworkings of war, then we get detached from the soldiers that served at any time.
Oh man, it's terrible. So, like, I want to get into the bottom of this. What made? I hope people don't get angry about viewing and listening to this. What made the U.S. want to go to war with Iran at this moment? Because I'm like, I thought everything was all good.
So the U.S. wanted to disturb the oil shipping. Okay, but the
Mm-hmm.
problem is that we had a sanction against Russia about oil, but Russia
Yep.
sells to China and Africa, right?
Yep.
They were trying to get. That's why he went out to Panama, right? And then he
Venezuela.
went in Venezuela,
Yeah.
and then Greenland. This was all about trying to sustain an oil production because we need it for manufacturing. The problem is that we don't have manufacturing here. All the
Mm-mm.
manufacture is done in India and in China.
I know. Yeah.
So Iran was selling oil to China,
Mm-hmm.
so they would get it cheaper, and then China could sell. So he got caught himself in a bind between, we're supposed to be fighting Russia and we're supposed to be fighting Iran,
Mm-hmm.
but he had to release all the tariffs on Russia now because he's in a bind with Iran. But now Russia's selling oil to China, and China is going to support Iran. So I mean,
Exactly. Yeah,
it's
let's be clear too. Like the war with Ukraine and Russia, I always tell people that that's a U.S.
right.
proxy war.
That's a
That's that's,
proxy war.
that's a proxy war. Because if I'm giving
But
you weapons to go to war, that means I have
right.
problems with you too. It's not like, but how can you? Do you have the audacity to say I want to sit both nations down to end the war, but yet I'm funding you to go fight them? Like that doesn't make sense.
So because he was doing that on both between Iraq and
Yeah.
Iran, right? Because we supported Iraq to Iran, and then
Mm-hmm.
so then we went to
Ukraine and
war with
Russia.
Iraq, but
Mm-hmm.
Iran was supporting Iraq when we went to a war with Iraq. So they developed. So the Gulf nations, the Gulf states, have
Yeah.
still binded together, and we're caught in between right and left because we always still want a proxy war. We needed a proxy war with Russia because that was our last known real serious enemy
Yeah.
to really centralize the United States,
Yeah.
right? Right. It was it, it you know We can have monsters, but we've never had a boogeyman like Russia, right?
Yeah.
So that's why we have always been in these proxies with Russia. So even if the war stops in the Ukraine and Russia, the United States loses
Yeah. Yeah. Because you invested a lot into Ukraine. Yeah.
into Ukraine, right? And
Yeah.
Russia's already lopped off about 2/3 of the Ukraine. So Russia can never say they lost. They can't say they won, but they can't
Yeah.
say they lost.
No. They getting it. They going deep into
And
it.
now they're making more money on oil because they're the ones selling it now to China and Africa.
That's true. And you know what? You know what gets me dire? It always captures me. All the countries that have the high number of melanated people, like the continent of Africa and
Yeah.
the diaspora, we always suffer when it comes to these matters.
Because the things were destroyed where we couldn't produce. So like
Yeah.
grain, like Russia's, the largest grain producers in the world, in the world, they're the largest grain. You need grain to make all things.
Yeah.
They're the largest grain producers in the world.
So with all this happening between Iran, America, China, I don't hear nobody talking about North Korea as much.
Nope. They're not talking about that. They're actually not talking about the Congo.
No.
Of all there have been people there's been it's a slaughterhouse in the Congo right now. Um, and we have hands in that. Um,
Yeah.
we just uh, we the people just don't hear enough from their news outlets,
No.
and they have to go reach and read
Control media.
other other media and news and stuff. Otherwise, the United States is not going to give you any of it. They're not going to give you
No.
none of it, and they're not supposed to because the United States never wanted it. So you kind of go back to the citizen. I blame the citizens. They blame the citizens because if they wanted it, they would
Yeah.
have it. But
Yeah.
because they never cared about it, they're getting what they get.
Oh, because most of us here are worried about celebrities. Like you can ask anybody in the street, they'll tell you every
Something about a celebrity.
yeah, every housewife information. But you ask them what's going on in the world, they don't care. Either they
Yeah.
don't care, they have no knowledge of that, or they just like in reality, based on circumstances, people here are just trying to survive day by day. Because right now with the war, we know economic changes coming, and as you put it earlier, it's going to get very hostile soon.
So once it's getting very hostile,
Hmm.
so let's look at this way. Let's someone wants to pre- they can't be so a person wants to prepare to protect their home, right?
Yes.
The first probably thing they think of is a firearm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So they go buy a firearm. They go buy a firearm from people they either heard something from, seen something from, read something about,
Yeah.
whatever. So they go buy the firearm. Unlike many things, firearms are very difficult to trade back.
Hmm.
So you may not like the firearm, but you believe you're supposed to like this firearm, and it could be any firearm. You believe you're supposed to like this firearm because other people like it.
Yep.
So now you have to train in it. We're just talking about protecting your home. We're not talking about you doing anything else. We're not talking about you trying to be a marksman. We're not trying to do anything else. We're just saying, in
Protect your
case it
home.
happens, I want to protect my family, the people
Yep.
that live under my roof. So now they buy this firearm, they spend this money. So now it's an economic issue because certain firearms are not cheap. They're just not. And if you get it cheaply, you probably need to ask why it's so cheap.
It was used before. It has a body on it.
It's right. It's got a body on it, right?
Yep.
And you're like, well, I don't care about that. If it's got 5 bodies on it,
Oh,
I
you
got a
better
gun
care.
for $200, and I'm gonna make sure I have it in my house to protect myself with.
You better
But
care.
because it's got a body on it, they're afraid to take it out of the house.
Yeah.
If you're an honest person, you're afraid to take it out of the house. Even if you say you put it in a lockbox, you might get checked at the range.
and they got a body on it.
right? Because so now you want to train and practice this when you can, if you have the ability, you can, if you can afford the bullets, if you can afford the training time. But until then, you have it in the house to protect your family, and you've never trained in this. You're only going to get your family killed.
Exactly.
You see what I mean? There's a circle to this about preparation, training, logic, and information that people don't take seriously or think about.
You're right. You're right. You're right. You're so right. That's a lot that comes into this. So we know what's taking place with the war right now. We all know it could be a wild card with dealing with North Korea, right? Because I'm thinking they might get involved.
No, they just have to
Yeah.
sit a while and watch us spend money. Remember, Iran,
Mhm.
Iran can build the most drones than we have weapons.
Oh
They're a
wow.
drone producing country. They produce 90% of the drones around the world.
Mm. So who do you think? Being that you said we spent already $900 million going into a trillion next year, right?
Yep.
Who do you think will be a success in this war, in this unfortunate war?
I actually don't think they're. I can't see that. I don't. I even. I would never want to even speculate to see or have an idea. That's a lot of. I could do it if I did my data research,
Yeah.
come up with a couple, but I don't think any of it's going to be good because the people aren't going. Here's why I don't think it's going to be good. Doesn't matter what, because I don't think the people are going to have us the much to say as they thought they would,
Mm.
and that's only going to leave them more depressed.
Yeah. I think
Like
this.
they thought they were going to have someone to be like, hey, we choose Donald Duck, right? Whatever. And they can't. They're not going to be allowed to choose whoever because the Constitution's changed on them or something's changed on it, and you didn't know that they voted on it, and you didn't know it was passed on it. You didn't know it was because of this. So yeah. There's a we're in this mess
Mhm.
for geopolitical reasons that has been going on since the 30s as
Mhm.
far as the United States. And we're going to continue to do this because we have lackluster people that are involved in community, family,
Yep.
and society on a healthy way.
Talk about it.
Because healthy means I listen, hear, understand any opposition I could ever think of. I listen, I hear, I understand.
I wish leaders thought as such, Dr. Dyer. I really do, but they don't. As you said, it's just it's the male ego. And I'm gonna be honest, white supremacy,
Yeah.
domination. You want to dominate the world. Let's go. What it is? That's what it is. The fear of a brown of a planet. I want to be in control. I want my legacy to live on forever because I'm the most dominant.
Well,
Most,
they've lived that way for at least since the 15th century. That's they lived that way. But if we follow the Persians, which is we know as Iran,
yeah,
we just wait them out
yeah,
and know that we we will persevere because they've done it.
yeah. And they was able to rebuild themselves. This is what I'm saying. We gotta. When you know that it's imminent danger there, but at the end of the day, it's like how Ali fought Foreman. Like
Yep,
you're gonna tire yourself out. Eventually, I'm gonna rope and dope you and just beat
yep.
the
And then I'm gonna knock you out.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm with you not to do the report on that. Yeah, it could be very depressing to read it because already we were at $900 million in, and it's only been what how long has been the war? Like a month already,
Right, but it's this year. It's 900 million total this year, so far this year.
and the year's not even done yet.
No,
Oh God. Yeah, not a smart move.
no, no. But it's a move, right? And if you don't understand the chess game, when you're watching the chess game, you're like, oh, so what did just happen? Oh my God, he used his bishop to blind the rook, blah blah blah. And you're like, of course, we people been playing chess for such a long time, they have names for it, but moves are strategic, and when we've been dealing with people that have the same theory and process for thousands of years, and
Yep.
we're still so new to this, what are we celebrating, 250 years?
Yeah, and they've been
and
doing
we're
it for
supposed and we're supposed to outsmart someone who's been doing this for 2,000 years.
talk talk about it. Well,
i'm
bro.
just i'm just i'm just putting, I mean, that's just layman, right?
Hmm.
You're supposed to fight a person that's been doing this for 2,000 years, and we're only 250 years old.
You know, it's so true because I remember when Gaddafi said this. So in that world meeting with the Arab nations, he said, "Look, they are coming to get us all. If we don't stay on the course, we're gonna lose it." He was taken out. Saddam
and
was
and
taken out.
Yeah, and then now you know the English and the French are going to just, they're easy to blame America for all of it. They're just like, they could say they're with us, but when it all fails, they're like, oh, we were taking the lead from
Yeah,
America. So they'll back out a little sneakily and snakily because they can, they
that's
could
what
just
they
say,
do.
oh, we it's like getting arrested with Mikey. I was just here in the car. I didn't know he was going to rob the
Yeah,
supermarket, and then
yeah.
you still get brought in. You're like, I was in the car. I mean, we were cool. I was cheering him on and everything, but I didn't know he was going to do that, right?
Yeah, he was eating the Funyuns too. He had his hand in the potato chip bag as well. Take him.
Yep.
And
So
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say something that came to my mind was thinking about this line from Stickman of Dead Prez, and I say this respectfully because I don't have a prejudice bone in my body, but looking at history, as you said, the same game plan. Everywhere this European go, this white man go, and when I say white man who has this mindset of belittling others,
Yeah,
he brings misery
misery or disease.
or
Pick one.
disease. Yeah, it's throughout your history. I'm sorry, I'm not.
No, don't be
You know,
sorry. Here's the thing. If someone disagrees, right?
yeah.
I would like for them to explain their information why that is not true.
No, I say sorry because they be like, "Come on, bro, I love you." Yeah, I love you too,
No,
but
no,
let me
no.
say
But
something.
you can still say something that is truthful.
No, it's true. Hey, wherever you go, you bring misery. It's
Yeah, but
miserable.
it doesn't mean we should have to apologize for it. I don't think.
No, I'm not. When I say apologize, when I say I'm sorry, it's like for those gonna be like, because there's some black people gonna be like, "You said that?" Yes, I said it because some of our people, like, listen, they very. As I say, I'm sorry today, but Johnny come lately. Historically, you have been destructive to the planet. I'm sorry. I'm starting to feel like Dr. Campbell. I don't know if you remember Dr. Campbell, but he said something. I might say on this platform yet. But yeah, wherever you guys go, man, it's like you're problematic.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
don't know.
just just read your centuries of history. That's all, and
It-
travel.
It's the mindset. When you think you're
Yeah.
superior and others are inferior, you got to change that. Because now, I hate to say it to you, and these Iranians gonna give it to you. They don't care about that.
And the problem is that, so we're not even talking about the insurgents that we have coming across the border and the border issue, and and
Oh yeah.
and the different cell groups that are in here. If you take that and then take what you call hostile minorities who are forming groups and training camps
Hmm.
that are going to prepare themselves for this collision course,
Hmm.
which side do you think they'll be on? Do you think they would be on white America's side, or you think they'd be
Nah.
on? Yeah, see, I don't think
Exactly,
so.
because
Right.
the corner store guy, Aki is I'm sorry,
Is
but he's gonna be like, "I'm riding with you," because I believe
I'm
he
right
said
with
that.
you.
Yeah, because if they see how you treat your own citizens, right? Your
Eh,
own.
Which is
It,
funny because here, when the hostage was happening in, what was that, 70? They took hostages in the embassy. The Iran. I think it was 70. It was with Carter, and they let go of black people from the embassy from the
Mhm.
hostage before they let go of white people, because they're like, we see how the American people treat you. We
Yeah.
don't want to treat you that way. So they release the dark skinned people out of the embassy. I bet you people didn't know that, right?
Mhm.
So Iran used our own prejudices that we were going through against us. So like we'll let go of the hostages, but they just have to be dark skinned, and they let them go. They let them go.
Good looking, Doc. Anyway, I appreciate that. With that being said, Dr. Dye, I appreciate you for coming out, my brother.
Absolutely, brother.
You it's
You
very
be safe.
informative. Yeah, of course. I'll
Every,
be safe, my brother. You too.
everyone be kind, compassionate, and be loving. But you have to still be educated and learn something out there, because
Yes.
things are coming. It's either going to be blinded or you're going to be aware of it. That's all.
With that being said, don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe. As the good doctor said, love, learn, laugh, but be vigilant. Be observant. Make moves. Together it takes a village to raise a child, to raise a child, and together we could make things happen. With that being said, we are out. NYP Talk
Out.
Show. Peace and love.
Peace.
Peace.